Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abbie.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts,
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
Whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express. Hello and welcome to everyone in the DHE universe.
also known as Potterneers.
You know, you're not supposed to talk. I'm joined this week by a special guest. You may know her as Abbie.
That's me.
She's just a guest. She obviously wasn't here for part of the episode last week because, as we all know, she betrayed me. And
no, never.
Despite her very catchy melody, yes, Abbie is back. I'm sure everyone's happy. You thought maybe this was going to be a Rob only episode or podcast going forward.
That. They would have loved a Rob only episode.
No, they would not. Would have been a lot of stammering, a lot of So this thing is cool, right? And that thing. And so I'm sure they're glad to have you back speaking clearly. And anyway, so we're glad to have you back. We're here.
I'm happy to be here.
We're the Sunday night before Labor Day. We've had a long day full of family fun.
Absolutely.
We wanted to end it by coming here and talking to you guys. And specifically, we're going to find out what Abbie did while she was away from me.
I know.
We did not talk about it at all since she's been home. I said, no, you do not share any details until the podcast. What are you doing? Could you imagine?
I sent you lots and lots of pictures as we were going about our days. So, yeah, you're going to interview me. I guess I shouldn't just jump into my chit-chatting away.
She has to take the lead. I like it.
I don't know what to say about that.
Anyway, so Abbie was down there on a business trip, and during her business trip, she was able to make it to our favorite resort and theme park in the world.
That's right.
Disney World.
That's right.
Some things you did before we get to the meat and potatoes, or I guess the tricks and the treat of the episode. Your first night there, you went to...
Oh my gosh, I can't believe, I wrote myself a little list to kind of remind myself, and I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about Topolino's.
Right. So you went to Topolino's.
My goodness.
And for those that don't know, Topolino's is located in the
Riviera. The Riviera. Now, I have not actually been to the Riviera before, and walking through the Riviera and if you have listened to me at all, you know that I ooh and ah over things like banisters and molding and chandeliers.
She loves a nice sconce.
This place has them all. And it even has really interesting, fun artwork throughout. And when I say artwork, I mean it's character paintings, but done in a very classic way. So I had sent some of these character paintings. I took pictures and sent them to our daughter because they were of Alice, but a nice, beautiful painting of Alice having a picnic, or Belle reading a book. And it was just very calming how the paintings were made. It wasn't your typical cover poster.
Okay.
It was very beautiful paintings. Everything about the Riviera was just absolutely outstanding and gorgeous. And then you get to Topolino's and you think it can't get any better, and it does. We felt like we were doing some very fine dining here.
And then you say you were joined by travel specialist Nicole.
Yes.
Okay.
And she had been to Topolino's before, so she knew what she was in for. I did not. And it was so exciting. We sat down and had a little bit of an appetizer.
Yeah.
And even the bread was baked in a fancy bread mold. Like, it was so fancy. And we got our dinners and dishes came out. Like, you felt like royalty sitting here. They really treated you amazingly. And our dinners came out, but we also noticed that people were going out onto the deck. It was about 9 p.m. to wait for these fireworks that were coming.
And now these are the fireworks where?
So the fireworks overlook the fireworks for Epcot, but we actually found that while we were viewing the Epcot fireworks, you could also see the Magic Kingdom fireworks going off. So we were able to see both, and it was outstanding. That's kind of amazing. And the little deck there, it has those like nice string lights. It felt like very romantic out there. I actually went out and had a conversation with all of you guys too a little bit later after the fireworks, just to say goodnight to everyone. But it was beautiful. They pipe in the music that accompanies the fireworks for Epcot. Okay. So that was very, very cool because you're like watching it and it's the fireworks are going off to match the music and all sorts of things. And we had actually not seen this fireworks show, right? This was the fireworks show that we missed because of our late dinner at Space 220. So it was a new experience for me. I think that it probably would have been a good show to see down at the water because I know they do a lot of water projections during the show, and it's all about like friendship and things like that. So there was a lot of different voices, a few different languages. It was very cool, but it would have been cool to see it there too. However, the experience was very good where I was, so I wasn't sad at all.
And that's always like I like when people find those kind of unique views of the fireworks and things. And
while I was standing there, I was just like, oh my gosh, I have no stress. Like even the last time we did like the fireworks party, I still felt like it was a little stress. I wasn't sure. And there was zero stress here. It was like, you're eating your dinner. The only thing that I was a little bummed about is I don't like to eat cold food. No. So my nice warm rigatoni had just come out and I'm like eating it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And then we discover we have to go outside. So I kept thinking in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, my pasta's going to be so cold. Like, I wonder if they'll like warm it up under the light for me if I ask. And, I'm having these like really weird thoughts about while enjoying the fireworks. But guess what? When I came back to my table, they had put a hot dish over my rigatoni. And so he saw us coming in and he was like, oh, wait, don't touch that. It's hot. And he took it off for me and my pasta was perfect.
See, that's amazing. Now that's service, right?
Yes.
And they don't want like little Johnny walking by the dinner and like taking a bite of putting his finger in it.
Sticking something in it. So that was fantastic. Now, I don't normally partake in desserts. Nicole really wanted a dessert, so I was like, okay, I'll game. I ended up getting like the fanciest dessert on the menu, which is so funny. It was Princess Week, so he explained that this particular dessert was supposed to be like a pumpkin, but it was a blue pumpkin, like, so you're thinking like Cinderella's carriage, and then he puts some sort of special mist on it in front of you, and then it turns into Aurora's pink gown or whatever. And like, so he missed it. Like, I took a video of him misting it. It didn't, I mean, like, maybe there was some pink sparkles, but it didn't really go all the way. And so like I ate a little bit of it here and there. It was more like I wanted to see this magic happen. It didn't really happen. It was like an okay dessert. I like my Oreo cookies, so this was a little too fancy for me. But what I did like is that they had a crown, like Aurora's crown, made out of, it tasted like white chocolate, but it was spray painted gold, and that was a part of my dessert. So this was like a really fancy dessert, I'm telling you. And it had like some berries and stuff with it, but I think the crown was my favorite part. That it didn't look edible. It looks like it was like a toy kind of beautiful crown,
like one of the girls would want to take it home.
So then I ate some of it. I was like, oh my gosh, it is edible. So it was so fancy. It was so good. I was blown away. It was
Right.
it was great.
So you say Topolino's is the top of...
It's the top of my list. Absolutely. And the Riviera itself
so you would do
was
it again?
gorgeous. I would, and I would do it with kids. It was just lovely, but it's definitely a place that, like, don't wear your flip-flops, you know, like, you're going and it's a more fine dining
Gotcha.
experience. So
Notice
everybody that went were like pretty nicely dressed.
Notice how she said she would do it with the kids, but she didn't say she wanted to do it with me. So again,
sweetheart,
there was all this talk of romance, and yet somehow again, the guy that was left at home. Anyway.
This isn't true. You're by my side all the time, so I don't assume you to be anywhere else. So I apologize. I did not put you on that list.
I appreciate your making that up. Anyway, so that was your one day. That was Sunday.
Right. I think that was Sunday night.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so then Monday I was in conferences and like doing the conference thing mostly. Mm-hmm. And then in the evening I had some time. So we grabbed some yummy hibachi. I was staying at the Orlando World Marriott Resort. This place is phenomenal. If you can get like a discount, like I highly recommend that. It's a little on the pricey side.
I mean, if you can get a discount, sure, go for it.
It's definitely one of those resorts where it's wonderful, but they have like on top of your room price, they then add a fee for like a resort fee. And you're like, but I'm already staying in the resort. Why isn't this just like a part of my nightly? And then they add a parking fee, which is kind of like another thing where it's like, you guys have parking at your resort, which is nowhere near Disney. Like, why are we?
So they got a nickel and dime.
Yeah. Like, why are we having a parking fee here? And in a unpopulated area, like this is the only thing. And then, like then it's like if you want to go to, they have like different pools and they have like great pools. They've got a little water park there. So like highly recommend it for families. They've got activities all day long. Like one of them like swim with the mermaids or something. Mm-hmm. They have movies at night.
Those are games. Real mermaids, by the way.
Like all sorts of things. I mean, there was no end to the fun that you could have. And what I also liked, and what I discussed a lot with Nicole, who stayed with us over at the boardwalk as well, was that this place had more places to eat than the boardwalk altogether. Okay. And so we were just like, we went out for an amazing hibachi dinner. Mm-hmm. And it was an experience and it was amazing. Like it was so good. And we're like, why couldn't something like this be on the boardwalk? And then we went to their just like in-house kind of store, like convenience store, like grocery store. Again, it had variety, like so much variety that like.
So there actually was an actual convenience store and not inside. Just because the Disney, when you go to those stores at Disney, it's like a very, let's say a quarter or less is of actual, conveniences, and then the rest of it's kind of just.
But it had like things that are actually like good for you. Like it had all different kinds of cereal, which isn't good for you. But then it had like a whole area of like those bare
necessities,
like apples, like what do you call it, like where they freeze dry everything.
Bare naked.
Yep, bare naked. But then they had like kind bars, and they had but like not like little touches, like you could get full sandwiches and salads and they had full bottles of wine. But it was amazing, like something for everyone. So amazing. So that 100%.
And I think that's part of the when you stay somewhere else other than like a Disney resort, you're staying kind of because of the utility and
of being like close to the park, getting those extra magic hours,
but also
that kind of thing.
Being able to, because it's not just this is like a convention, right? It has a convention center, so it's business stuff. So they know that not everyone's there just to go to Disney, so they need like they might have long utility. Meeting
hours and things like that. So blew us away. Anyways, that night we had made plans that we wanted to go to Trader Sam's. At night. Like neither of us had really experienced that. Mm-hmm. And we get there, and she said it's going to be a bit of a wait. I think
to
the Polynesian resort.
You went to the Polynesian resort, where Trader Sam's is.
Yes,
and that's it's a bar.
Yes,
essentially like a tiki bar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Hawaiian themed. I wonder who the Sam is who's Trader Sam? Who is that?
So I was looking it up. Let's see. Trader Sam, inspired by classic tiki culture and adventurous spirit of the jungle cruise attraction. The bar is filled with Polynesian artifacts, tiki statues, of course, and fun references to Disney's adventure theme park rides.
Okay.
So does it say
what Trader Sam is? I'm going to guess he's a guy. Say. He was a fur trader. His name was Samuel Clemens, which we all know him by the name of Mark Twain.
I mean,
Samuel Clemens was his actual name,
I guess.
Oh yeah.
So no. after
she's not paying attention. She's
I
going
am
along with it.
Mark Clemens. I don't know. I don't know where you're going.
Roger
with this.
Clemens. What?
In any case, when you go after, I think it's 8 p.m. It's like an adults only venue. Before that,
everyone's naked.
Kids can go. Now, okay, so we go and we check in with the hostess. We have I think it's 40-minute wait or something like that. And we're kind of like, oh, okay, let's go outside. It's about 8:30 or so. We go outside to the pool bar, which we just, it's a gated area. So somebody had opened the gate and let us in.
Oh, so you were saying you were unauthorized.
I don't know. I'm not sure if they really care, but
like, I'm not going to admit to committing a crime on the air.
We went to the bar over there and got a little, I think I got a margarita or something, but it was definitely Polynesian style margarita, so it wasn't just called a margarita. It had some sort of fancy name. And then we decided oh my gosh, the fireworks are gonna start soon. And we sat down with a direct view over the Polynesian beach of the castle, and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful just to see the castle and the way it was lit up. And then all of a sudden we were just sitting there waiting for the fireworks, and we're starting to notice that why are there so many boats in the water? And and then I start to notice that each boat, you can't really see the boats, but you can see that there are things out there because it's dark. And then I'm they all there's just a lot of little one green light, maybe it's and I'm thinking of my boating red return, what does this mean? And all of a sudden out of nowhere, the what is it? It's the electrical water pageant.
Okay.
The electrical water pageant just out of nowhere just begins, and I'm oh my gosh, no way. So I've never
seen it before.
It's not true.
In person.
I recall seeing it as a very very young child, and so there's fuzzy memories in my head of it. So this was the time I'm seeing it and I'm remembering it, and it was so cool. It was so cool. And the music that goes along with it, I don't know if you've really heard it. It's very quirky electrical music. It's not electric music, but it just it's not EDM. Sound.
Dum, dum,
yeah,
dum,
no.
Okay.
It sounds think of a wind up music box with a little bit of prolonged notes on it and stuff. It was really cool. So basically the pageant features a series of floating barges that have sea creatures on top of them, such as dolphins, turtles, whales, and
they're all lit up with light bulbs,
but they lit one up at a time.
Okay.
It was like a pageant. Think about okay, we're featuring just the dolphins go, and then they have their moment to shine, and they go along with the music. Maybe the lights are going back and forth, and then the next one it's I think King Triton was all the way at the end, but it's the turtle and the turtle smiling, or his arm is waving or something.
Smiling turtle.
And it was really cool. And then it goes through all of them, and then it ends with everything lighting up as American flags and stars. And then it has the Your Grand Old Flag song. So an incredibly unique experience to catch this unexpectedly and just in such a easygoing environment that I was in. I didn't like clamor or plan to do it. It just happened. Okay. And again, it was another like super non-stressful moment. And then I was thinking like, why don't I ever see this just normally? Well, typically the route for the pageant is at the Polynesian Village Resort, Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground, Contemporary Resort. Okay. Very rarely does it go over to Magic Kingdom area, but sometimes it does, just for very special occasions near the park's entrance, I guess.
All right.
So, I mean, very cool. Again, this pageant has been going on for 50 years. Like, it is ingrained, I think, in the Disney life. And I felt so delighted to be able to see this. It was so cool. I felt like a little kid again. So in any case.
And so this is something, it looks like it kind of starts at, like it's saying for tonight right now, it's saying it runs from 8:25 to 10:30.
So like, I think that it starts at one resort and then
like,
because it did start to like pull out, you know? It started to pull out and then go at the end. And I imagine then it goes to the Grand Floridian, right? Okay. And then
moves on to its next destination.
So I think it goes to these more higher end resorts because of maybe like their waterway or something. But it was
cool.
So cool.
Is it an experience worth checking out when you're in the resorts?
I do think it's very cool. So like, let's say you were like at the Polynesian and you're taking a night swim, right? You could be like swimming with your kids and then be like, oh my gosh, come on, the music started, and just walk over to the viewing area. Gotcha. Because it really wasn't that big of a walk or anything to just see it. Like you literally walk out of the, what do they call that when the pool has like a decline into the water? I don't know. It's like it would in an ocean.
Gotcha.
Like you just walk up it and go right over to the gate and watch.
She has really it all. Easy. She has it all planned out for you. She is the family travel planner.
Really easy peasy. I loved it.
The electrical water pageant. Thumbs up.
That's right. That's right.
We give it one seahorse, one illuminated seahorse up.
That's right. So then we went
into Trader Sam's.
Called into Trader Sam's.
Right.
Now,
how long was your wait to get in?
I think it was probably about 40 minutes, if I'm remembering correctly.
And 40 minutes well spent.
Yes. So the first thing, we get into the Trader Sam's, and it's very cool because it's kind of like cluttered with what you think a shipwreck kind of thing would be. Like there's things all over, but it's very cool looking. Now, we got seated at this tiny circle table that's probably meant for two, but there was four of us. Now, the two other people that were at this table, we did not know.
Strangers.
So it makes it already really funny.
No, thank you.
Now, like, I don't know. Like, Nicole and I are going to like pick our drinks on the list, and we are starting, like, as we're like looking at this menu, we're kind of overhearing our table mates' conversation because you can't not. You're sitting so close to them.
Okay.
And we've determined that they are on their first date or some sort of date-ish getting to know you.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I'm like listening and I'm like, I'm going to need a strong drink. This is going to be an evening. I don't know how
I feel like that's like kind of like a big move. If it's like an early on date, you're going to like Trader Sam's in Disney World.
So we asked around a little later about like this scenario, and we learned that there are a lot of Facebook pages for like singles who love Disney, and like it's like singles meet up. You can pick it up as friends. You can meet up as a first date and that kind of thing. Actually, our Uber driver told us all about this on the way home. We're like, it was so strange, and so we're kind of thinking that perhaps they met on one of these singles. Now, he had an English accent, and she
a British
apparently
bloke.
and apparently she really loved England, because one of the things is, I love that you love England so much, and he like did it in his accent, and I was like, oh boy.
Now, could you do an English accent for us? Please go.
I cannot. I'm not even gonna try.
I
think I would just murder it so badly.
Okay.
Anyway, so as I'm looking through
now,
the
was
list
it like
of
he was like he had an English accent, and then she was from the South, so she had like a deep Southern accent, and it was like she's from Georgia.
I don't think she really had much of an accent.
I'm
really
let down. I'm a little let down. Okay.
But I mean,
all right.
Anyways,
so that's an interesting. So I wonder why, like, there's not enough. Obviously, there's not enough seating where they could just sit everyone separately.
Yes, yeah, it's
but there is
small.
There is a bar.
Yes, and I'm wondering why they didn't just seat us at the bar, but I don't know.
Well, they know you're both ladies. You know, you're not ladies of the night.
Now anyways, let's get to the drink part. So I'm like, all right, I need a drink. So I got a drink called the Polynesian Pearl.
No.
And because I'm an old lady, and I'm like, okay, so I don't want to be up all night, and this sounds like a bedtime drink. It had cinnamon syrup and pog juice, Marnier or whatever it's called, and rum chata. Rum chata was like the real takeaway. Rum chata and cinnamon. I was like, oh, that sounds like it's gonna like nicely ease me to bed, right? So that was my thinking. They served this drink in a glass that looked like a pearl. Like it was a enclosed sphere, but it had a flat bottom and just like a little circular open where they put a beautiful flower and a straw. It was nice.
Oh, okay. I don't think I saw a picture of this drink, so I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it was nice. So, as we're having our drinks and overhearing this very intense first date, I mean, talk about he said something, I overheard him say like something about
saucy.
He saw a child. What is it called when you go into like voices or something? You start to hear voices, like you're like possessed or something. He's talking about. He said he saw a child get possessed, and then the people he was with at this camp started praying over the possessed child to bring him out of it. And this girl looked so terrified, and she was just like, "You don't really believe in that stuff, right?" And I was like, go you nail them, you like make sure that you get the answers that you need. And like he goes, no, well, I was there and I do believe in it because I saw it firsthand. And there was a lot of uncomfortable silence going on there. Now, she went to the restroom for a little bit of this time, and Nicole and I for sure did not think she was coming back. She was in there for quite a bit of time.
Oh,
she came back.
Maybe she
she ordered a second drink.
Maybe she had the poo-poo platter or something.
I don't think so. I think she was probably talking to friends and making sure this guy was okay. And I'm not sure how they convinced her. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. People see things and do things.
This guy's going to try to perform the last exorcism on him.
I know. Anyways, so back to Trader Sam's, because this whole other story, I'm just telling you how it is. You're going to go to Trader Sam's. You're going to get sat with
unless
interesting people.
Unless you're going with a group of 4.
Yes, and then you can claim that little table for 4. So it's an experience in this bar. For example, if you order certain drinks, it triggers special effects in the room, or even like at the bar while he's making the drink. So like when I ordered my Polynesian Pearl, I mean, there was an activity and he was shouting out, "There's a pearl," and like all these things. And I'm like, I wish I understood what was happening, because that would be really cool to like get into. Now, I have to say that the actors at the bar, in the bar area, I think they're so used to doing these things over and over that like, even though they did them well, they sounded like tired.
Are they kind of just phoning them in? Like
like, you know, but they shouted those things out. And maybe it's like that time of night, you've got like people that are maybe 2 drinks in or something, and maybe not paying as much attention to the bar antics. And so he's like, I'm just saying these things because I have to in these loud voices. And he could probably say anything he wanted and none of us really hear him. But there are certain times where big storms come into Trader Sam's, and so you feel the wind blowing and the lights change different colors. And even the picture in the background, like Nicole was sitting, with her back against the wall. And are you checking my timing? Because I'm just talking. Anyways, the picture itself starts raining outside and everything. And it's just very, very, very cool.
All right. So Trader Sam's. Well, how was the drink? I don't know. Did you?
The drink was great. I enjoyed it. It was exactly what I was hoping for. It was like a very easy peasy.
And you're not a big rum person,
drink.
So
I'm not. But this was rum chata. I feel like not rum. I feel like it's just like a good night milk. I don't know. Good night milk.
Most people go a little warm milk at night. Abbie's just doing shots of rum chata to go to sleep, which, oh boy.
I mean, listen, I did tell you the other day I was ready to be an old lady and retire. I'm done.
Wait, why the rum? You think old people drink rum chata?
That's
what you equate?
That's my vision I have in my mind, being an old lady with a big floppy hat and having a rum chata.
Well, I'd like to join you for that time. It sounds amazing. All right, so Trader Sam's, we give it your experience.
I give it a thumbs up. It was an experience.
Okay.
Do I think that I have to go back again? Not really. I would go back with you, and we would have a great time.
I don't know. We'll see. Sounds like a lot of spoilers for me right there. A lot of spoiler. Unless you can get that couple to go back. I don't want to go.
I know you need the experience, huh?
I hope you got their names and numbers to follow up with them.
You know what? I had to hold myself back so
you wanted to butt in the conversation.
I wanted to be in that conversation. And there was 1 second where I almost leaned over and Nicole kicked me. She's like, absolutely not. I was like, please. I just want to make them have fun. I was barred.
Oh, gotcha.
I really did want to get in there.
Shackled.
Yes.
All right, so that was your Monday night.
Yes.
Now, the big thing that they went for, and the reason why I'm most upset with you, is because Tuesday, after the conventions, you were going to
Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
All right.
Yes. So I was in conferences all day long and I was nervous and listening. And then finally the night came around. Excuse me. So we dressed up as tarot cards and it was so fun because we got to put on these little glittery freckles on our face and we had light up tiaras and I was the gardener tarot card and she was the coffee tarot card.
Oh.
I don't think those are real tarot cards, but it was great. We looked
but
good.
It works. We all remember the coffee and the gardener.
Yes. So we just really strolled in. We decided to take an Uber.
What time?
So because my conferences went till 4:20 I didn't get upstairs until
4:20
about then.
You gotta go outside and light them up.
Exactly.
All right.
So we just got ready and I'd say we probably rolled out of our resort probably about 5:30 maybe, I think. Maybe somewhere around there. And we got an Uber to actually the Polynesian because we are spoiled and didn't want to go to the ticket transportation center. I don't know why. We just felt like let's just take the monorail.
No, you wanted to go back to Trader Sam's.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
So we took the monorail over and it was easy peasy. I was nervous about those lines to get your bands and everything. No line, nothing.
And so this was at what time again?
I'm going to say it's about 6 at this point.
This is about 6 o'clock now. It starts at...
Let me double check that time. Well, yeah.
I had it up here
you can get in at 4 p.m.
It does. So yeah, it does start at 7 p.m.
It starts at 7 or it starts at 8?
It says 7 p.m. to midnight.
Okay.
But I think at 6 o'clock is when they start.
They kick out the other people. So let me backtrack. I must have been there a little bit before 6 p.m. because it was still like the filtering in and the out. But you can get in early. But there was no line for me to get in. It was pretty nice to we strolled in. And then they put on your wristband, which I was impressed with the wristbands. The last time I went to this parade, they were like paper wristbands. This was like a silky wristband that they just like slipped right on, and it was so nice.
One thing you don't know about Abbie, I couldn't remember your name. I will pay for that later.
Oh boy.
Is that she has an extensive wristband collection all over the United States, theme parks everywhere, skating rinks, things like that. Okay.
I used to have like a concert ticket collection, but not a wristband collection.
All right.
Okay. So we go through and they funnel Halloween guests through kind of like this side alley that's specific for Halloween guests.
Okay.
It was so cool because they have like, some special features over here. They have some bubbles going that like when you pop them, smoke comes out. And I thought that was very cool. That was like the first feature we saw. And then you move, you keep
Madame
going
Leota.
through, and they have a DJ set up. And then you keep going through, and there's Cruella de Vil welcoming you in, but she's not really welcoming you because she's Cruella de Vil, so she does it in her own way, right?
Gotcha.
And then this is where I got body checked by accident because I was being an Abbie and looking in 10 different directions, and this guy just slammed right into me, and I was like, "Oh,
I didn't know about that."
Yeah, it's all right. I hurt for a little bit and then recovered, but it was tough.
Give me his name. I'll have him taken out.
Sure. And then as you walk through, it opens up again. Back.
And so this path kind of goes to the right or to the left?
It goes to the right.
Main Street goes to the right of Main Street.
Yeah.
Is it that?
It's the secret path we went through that night. They tried to get us out of the fireworks, right?
So this is where we had the tickets for the seats and eats, where we actually ate in the party and we watched over in the Tomorrowland Terrace.
Yes.
We watched the fireworks from there, and then as we were leaving, they kind of right outside of there, like on your way to Main Street, like before you get to the shops, there's an alleyway that they open up right after the fireworks, and they were just letting everyone go out that way, which makes it's so much easier because you're beating the crowds. And I remember it did at the time, because we did go in August, it did have the Halloween decorations. So that kind of makes sense now that you say that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's how they funnel you in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
because
now, I think on Main
checking?
Street,
are they like checking you? Is there any more like?
No, I didn't. I didn't get my wristband checked once, but they must know. They know somehow, right? I was wearing short sleeves, but so it wasn't like it was a hidden wristband or anything. But my magic band was kind of covering it a little bit, so I don't know. In any case, I imagine that on Main Street they're funneling out guests that don't have. The bands. Now around here you can like pick up your trick-or-treating bags and things like that. We bypassed. We knew we weren't going to be eating candy, and I know I got a lot of flack when I got home, but again, I'm like, we have so much candy that nobody eats here.
We don't have Disney candy here.
It's the same candy.
No, but it's from Disney.
Oh my god, it's going to be all melty and gross by the time I get home.
Disney barrels of candy.
No.
All right.
So anyways, we decided like, okay, well, we have some time before things kick off. We had a 7:50 dinner reservation, or maybe 7:40. No, I'm sorry. I'm selling this wrong. I had a 7:35 dinner reservation. So we had some time to do whatever. And so we decided to go on a ride, right? So we walk right over to like Haunted Mansion and got on in like 20 minutes, had a wonderful ride. Now we were like, where's Madame Leota? Where's Madame Leota? You know, like we're looking for her. And we kind of realized, oh yeah, so the party doesn't start till 7 or 8 or whatever. And so none of those things are out just yet. So even though the lines were really, really, really short and it was primarily the guests with the Halloween bands,
they don't like fully start.
They don't start until later, but it's kind of, you're in this sweet spot where you can get on a lot of rides, and it's like, it's very cool. So we like jumped on Haunted Mansion, we jumped on Winnie the Pooh, we jumped on It's a Small World,
all known as big Halloween rides.
I feel like we did a couple of other ones in the area, and it was really good. And then it was time for dinner. Like we went over to get some pictures taken in certain places, and then we went over to get dinner, which was a really good choice. This was a last minute reservation. We were both like, oh my gosh, we didn't make dining reservations, because originally we were gonna go to the fireworks show, whatever it's called, the Eats and Sweets, and but we did it. I'm just trying to remember the name of this, because it's not the Crystal Palace, it was the
Crystal Night.
What
Crystal
is it? Hold on,
Towers.
It was, and I love this restaurant because it's so forgotten, and it's got a great view of the castle, and it is.
I mean, it's so forgotten. They forgot the name.
I know, because it's so close to Crystal Palace that I get like the name of it.
Crystal Palace Light.
It's called the Plaza Restaurant. So again, it's got an amazing view of the castle from the Plaza Restaurant. And it's got kind of your typical food. Like everything was in like the $15-$20 range. And it's like, you got your burgers, your chicken sandwiches, your fish, your whatever, you know. But it's like decent priced food, easy peasy, something for everyone. And, you know, if you choose to have alcoholic beverages, this is a place you can have them. Most places in Magic Kingdom don't. So that was pretty nice.
But
to
I think
have
a lot of the sit down,
the sit downs do,
the table service they do. I think.
So I liked the location of this too, because I felt like we weren't too far away from the action. We could hear the party starting outside.
Gotcha.
During our dinner.
Now, whereabouts, just for the people, whereabouts is this in the park?
If you are walking down Main Street, it would be all the way before the circle going to the castle on the right side.
Okay.
Okay.
So kind of near Tony's Town Square?
No, because the Tony's Town Square is all the way at the front of Main Street.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're going all the way down.
You're saying
closer
before
to the
circle.
castle.
All right. Once you get out there. Got it. And I think, were they doing work on it?
They were. So that was the one bummer that I was kind of like, you know, usually it has amazing view of the castle. But on this particular night and recently, they have been doing construction. So they had construction walls in front of those nice windows. Yeah. So you kind of felt like you were enclosed, but it did not damper our experience. We both liked it a lot. Then we pop out and we're like, okay, we're ready. You know, the Mickey
Booty You
is starting, but like no, the wreaths that they put up that have the pumpkin Mickeys are like kind of flickering. Candle flickers on and off. It's getting dark, you know, the music's going, everybody's really excited. We're seeing all these different costumes, and so we decide to, right after we ate a full meal, go to Space Mountain. Yep, we decided to go on Space Mountain. And this Space Mountain for Halloween, they turn off all the lights. Now, it was kind of funny because when we were getting in the ride itself, Nicole tells me, oh, they turn on all the lights for Halloween. It's so cool. You're going to see everything. And I'm like thinking to myself, I don't think that is correct, Nicole. You know, I like said something. I was like, I'm pretty sure that is not correct. And then we get going and I didn't realize how scary it was going to be with all the lights off. Terrifying. Like, I can't tell you enough how terrifying it was. It was so scary.
Space Mountain's a pretty dark ride as it is.
Yeah, but there's something about the stars that makes you able to see the turn a little bit.
Okay.
I can't even see my hands. Like, it
so you just don't know where you're going.
I don't know where my own body is. I can't, like, I feel like I can always make it out when I'm in there. And like, I could not here. So it was scary because you're like whipping and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know which way to lean my body to, like, you know, not have the impact. And you just couldn't. You were just, it was all impact. So it was really, really scary. It
was scary, but like in a good way.
Yeah. So
in an exciting way.
And exciting. Would I do it again? Nope. Because it was scary.
All right. Now that's it seems to be one of 3 special rides that they holiday up. They kind of Halloween it. They turn off the lights for that. Did you go on the Mad Tea Party?
I didn't. We walked by it and we could see like the holiday lights for it, which was cool.
And then the other one is, did you feel like maybe listening to some jokes by a monster?
No, because that's not really my thing either.
You get some fun jokes presented with a Halloween twist that Monsters Inc. laugh for.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Those are the 3 rides that they kind of present as Halloween-y.
Yeah, I did try the People Mover though, and I haven't been on that since I was like 10, so it wasn't my favorite.
That's the least scary ride.
But again, it went through Space Mountain as it does, and it was so funny because the people screaming made me scream, like just involuntarily.
Okay.
So we then we did a couple other things and ended up over at Tiana's Bayou. And we knew that because during parties, they don't have virtual queues for Tiana's or for anything.
For Tron. Tron and Tiana's just regular standby lines. And so
which was great. It made me feel like this was like a kickback to like actual times when we didn't have to worry so much about things. We're just waiting in 20-minute lines and 40-minute lines.
You're not worried about a multi-pass or anything, lightning lanes.
Didn't have to look at my phone for timings and know where I'm going and all that stuff and be stressed. It was just like totally easy peasy.
And I'm sure you and Nicole weren't talking at all while you were in those lines.
No, we did, and I took 70,000 pictures. Now, Tiana's Bayou, really, really awesome because we ended up on this ride right as the fireworks were like gearing up. So by the time we went around like the bend, like before the getting into the real ride part or
so when you're on the top on the outside part and you're looking at all Tiana the garden the
fireworks are going off right there with the Tiana's music and everything and then the other stuff in the background. It was so perfect. It was just lined up so perfectly. We did not intend for that to happen. We kind of wanted to see the fireworks, but this was even better. We saw the fireworks on the ride. It was so good.
So obviously you got there knowing that it was close to the time of
we knew it was going to be a close call.
Yeah.
But we're like, well, we can probably see him from anywhere. And we just happened to be on the ride.
It's pretty amazing. I heard some of that video footage might be out on an Instagram somewhere.
Yeah.
You might want to check it out and maybe drop a subscription and some likes. Anyway, back to the Mickey's Not So Scary. So that's an amazing experience. It's unique that a lot of people aren't going to be able to see because the timing of it all, you just never know how it's going to work out.
I know.
Sometimes it says 20 minutes and it's actually only 5. And then it rushes you through. So anyway, that's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, it was great. No complaints. I got more wet on this ride than I was anticipating, but that's all right.
You love being wet.
So then we head over. I had to see Cadaver Dance. I needed to see them. That's my favorite thing.
And they're in the
Frontierland.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they were at Booty, but they were in the Frontierland area. And so we just waited for them to come out. We knew their timing and they were great. They were good and entertaining. And we got some Mickey ice cream bars. The ones that are the Mickey
spooky.
Face.
They were spooky.
They were regular.
No.
We didn't. That was the one thing we didn't really double think was getting the Halloween treats. I think that Nicole being gluten-free and me like being like, that would be nice, but I
And
don't really care.
Really like sweets and
Yeah, like I'm picky about my sweets, I guess. And we didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, I was thinking about the Madame Leota's Cannel, I think it was, cake that I really wanted to try. But again, I'm not sad because my night was so perfect. So I didn't need to change it at all. I saw what somebody else have it and I was like, okay, that did it for me. But we had
you like asked them, how was it, by the way?
I didn't even need to ask. I was like, okay, it exists. Looks nice. And we had the Mickey ice cream and some water, watched the cadaver dance. It was perfect. Then we decided to go watch the parade. Now we caught the end of the what is it called? The Hocus Pocus show? What is that called? Villain Spectacular, I think.
It's the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular.
Yes. We saw a little bit of that. It was kind of like in the middle of it and towards probably the later half of it, which was great. And then we decided to walk closer to the exit. So we walked quite a bit of ways down, but not all the way down. We still wanted to like be in the crowd. We found a really good spot and
this is
waited
on Main
out
Street?
the parade on Main Street. Now, I was so impressed with like the dancers that came out and like rallied the crowd and got them entertained before the parade like made its way all the way down, because it starts pretty far away. Main Street is the last area it goes before it exits. So the headless horseman coming down was so cool. It looked so like real and it was so good and I was so excited about it. It was amazing.
No, it looked amazing.
Yeah, and then just everything after that was just so exciting, and it
had like the grave diggers,
and that was my favorite part. I knew it would be, but even I have to say, almost my favorite part was the dancers from the Haunted Mansion scene that came through.
Right, they
were so good, and their facial expressions, like they know how to like keep their faces straight, or like almost like they just like didn't care. I don't know.
So they look like one of the 99 happy haunts.
Yes.
And then they're recreating that scene that you see as you're overlooking into like that dining hall.
Yes.
Right?
So them dancing around the table, except they're just like dancing down the street.
They're like waltzing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And you think about the hundreds of people that are in this parade and the talent that all these people have. I mean, they had talent. Every single one of them.
Even if they weren't alive.
Even if they were scooping up the poop. The guy scooping up the headless horseman poop got like a standing ovation. Like, it's so funny to think about. But
especially it's weird that it came from the headless horseman, not the horse.
Not the horse. Sorry about that. Yes, it would have been from the horse. So, yeah, the parade was amazing. Everything about it. It was so good. We had a wonderful time. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's absolutely something that I think brought back the magic of Disney for me. I think I was feeling a little like tapped out on Disney, and this experience of not having to use Monte Pass Lightning Lane, not having to worry so much about crowds, and experiencing a holiday really brought back. It gave me energy. It gave me Disney energy again, and it put everything back into it. Cool. Now, do I want to go have a regular Disney day tomorrow? No, but I am very passionate about doing a Disney holiday now. Maybe like a Christmas or something like that.
You mean going another time without me?
Nope.
You and Nicole doing Christmas?
Because I want you to experience it.
I look forward to that. So you did the Boo to You parade. You kind of did the fireworks, which is known as the Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular. You saw them from afar. You didn't really see them.
Yes, correct.
You caught most of the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular.
Yep.
And did you see any midnight or moonlight melodies?
I can't say that I saw that. Is that considered the cadaver dance, or is that something else?
Something else. I don't know what it was. So those are like the 4 events that they talk about on the Disney website. The third one being something that we'd never heard of before. But so I'm just asking again because you were grading everything else. The Not So Scary, was it not so worth it or worth it?
It was totally worth it.
Okay. And that's saying that would you bring your kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
there are lots of kids there, even though it's a later event.
Not kids on the younger side, and I think that's also what made it feel a little different.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like this was like, you're 8 years old and up. Like kids that you can like rock out and like they're gonna be exhausted, but I think the energy of everything keeps everybody awake and like going.
So what you're saying is kids under the age of 7 suck it.
Well, I just don't think their parents
you don't belong
think it's
here.
wise to stay up till midnight doing these things. But I mean, it was good.
Okay.
I didn't get hit by any strollers. It was nice. I mean, I got body checked once, but it's all good.
And oddly enough, that body check was by a guy in a stroller.
No, not at all.
All right. So you had kind of a good, quick Disney jaunt.
I did have a good one in between all my crazy conferences. And
you got on some rides at the Spectacular, because they say a lot of people, we're always kind of like even recommending like don't go on the rides because you're going to miss out on all this.
We have
stuff.
said that in the past. Absolutely. Now, if you are a ride fanatic and this is like your chance to go on them, yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get you. That's fine because the lines are so short you can.
But you also want to check out what you're paying for. You're paying the money for these special events that they're holding and stuff. But you're also, nice 20-minute waits and rides. Yeah. It's unusual in Disney World. And on top of the fact that was it easy to get in the Halloween mood being that it was August?
Yes, I think it's the music that they pipe in. It was perfect, and like just and
they have like the even though you weren't partaking, they have the trick or treat and all the pumpkins and everything. Yeah, and, that's good.
It definitely got me in the mood coming home too. Now, one extra thing, and I know this is running long, and it's so funny because Rob said it was going to be a short episode, and he's like holding open his eyelids. I went to something called the Character Warehouse. It's in one of the kind of the shopping districts in Orlando.
So it's in Orlando. So this was kind of like down the street from the Marriott.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm. I think it's called the Vineland Outlets that it's in. And there's 2, to be honest, but this one is said to be bigger. So I wanted to go to the bigger one. When you go to the Character Warehouse, they make you line up like it's a Disney line outside because they have to keep the crowd level low because there's so much product inside this store that it is overwhelming. So when I went into the store is like everything is, I don't know, like at least half price, if not more. So I got
this is all Disney merchandise.
All Disney merchandise, relevant Disney merchandise, not like tchotchke. I mean, like, of course, all Disney stuff can be considered tchotchkes, but I'm talking about Spirit jerseys. I got one for everybody in the family, and
did you get one?
Yeah, I did. Oh. I mean, they went from $14.99, which is not.
Yeah, for
expensive
Disney?
For a Disney Spirit jersey. And I was so delighted because that one that was $14.99 was a Pandora one.
Yeah,
now,
perfect.
I mean, this is not, I don't even think I could have found this in the Pandora store. Like, it was pretty amazing. And then, the other jerseys that were woman and men's sizes were in the like $30 range, I would say. Gotcha. Now, there was other cool things like notebooks, like Pandora notebooks that I found. There was some, the backpacks that everybody loves, Loungeflies. They were there. I mean,
it also on sale.
$25.99. They normally can be $60 to $70.
Yeah. That's a good deal.
Then
you
you're
should have
talking
bought 4. We don't have enough bags in the house.
I mean, it was just, you had to just search through the store because they seem to have like a focus on things like Encanto. There was like a ton of Encanto stuff. And then there was like just a little Star Wars stuff. And I was like, well, that's interesting because Star Wars is so big. Well, like, why is there so much Encanto stuff?
What it seems like to me is that this is all merchandise that hasn't sold.
Yes. So like they had a lot of 2023 flower and garden stuff.
Okay.
So like mugs and whatnot.
This is all like the extra stuff. So maybe there wasn't a big Encanto.
Like as big as they thought it would be.
As far as buying merch, but obviously there's a lot of Star Wars stuff being sold. So
no, it's so funny because the lounge fly I got, the first thing I noticed about it was that it didn't have a pocket on the front. Right. And so I was kind of like, well, that's a different lounge fly. Like, I wonder if that's why it didn't sell necessarily. And so I got it. It was a Disney Wish lounge fly.
Yes, the movie.
With Asha
not the
on
cruise
the
ship.
Yeah. Asha was on the front of the bag. So no front pocket. Now, when I didn't think like these details really mattered, but when I brought it home to our daughter who loves Wish, she goes, wow, I really love this. The only thing I miss, I don't like about it is that there's not like the front pocket, And I was like, dang, girl, but like, not that I was like offended that she said that. I was so impressed that she noticed this detail.
You need
right?
that pocket.
Yeah. Like it was such a detail, but this is why this bag didn't sell. I think. But we're delighted to have it. She's delighted. She used it today. But it was interesting. So if you have a little bit of time, get over to the Character Warehouse. I definitely enjoyed my experience. Just be aware it was hot in there. I felt like I was going to faint like 10,000 times. There was a lot of people. I think I cut the line.
And then the line to get out. The line to leave or to check out is somewhat long too, right?
I will mention that I went there twice. And the first time we just knew we didn't have enough time. So because of the line to check out.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, that sounds like an amazing trip.
It was.
Like
the thing that was missing was you.
Yeah. We've all heard that before.
We'll
be back at home with the kids doing that craziness. I apologize to everyone. There's not a lot of news, and I'm not going to hold you guys. This is a somewhat longer episode, but not too long. Anyway, they just announced this is over in Universal Studios. They just kind of released a 4-minute video kind of showing details of the Harry Potter Ministry of Magic ride. Or at least concepts of it. I don't think it's in being constructed, but I don't think they didn't show actual ride footage. But it looks like it's going to be pretty amazing. Just being in the lobby and all this stuff and all the things. And this was all released because it's called Back to Hogwarts. That's September 1st is the Back to Hogwarts day is what it's known as. Because that's when, all the...
Yeah.
That's when all this Harry and Ron and Hermione are going back to Hogwarts September 1st.
Yeah.
Get to school, fools.
I love Hogwarts. That's awesome.
And beyond that, there's really not much else going on. Everything's in full Halloween mode. That's what they're celebrating. There's not a ton of news. There is some test track is being pushed along over in Epcot. They removed some signage and stuff. I don't know. We're not there yet. It's getting there, but it's not ready to come back.
Well, in any case, I hope I didn't talk your ears off too much. Just wanted to tell you all the exciting details because I am a travel agent for a reason. And I can't wait to talk to you about your next journey.
This has been a Family Travel Planner production.